If you're a mountain biker, then you know the name Maxxis when it comes to tires. They're all over the place. They've got a bunch of different models out, and today we've got a new model to kind of fit in between some other popular options that they have.
That's right. This is the new third generation of the High Roller. It fits right in between the Assegai and the Shorty, and today we're gonna review it.
What's up, guys? I'm Mike.
I'm Tor.
And we are here in Crankworx Whistler 2024. Hell of a time, lots of riding, lots of new products. So we have one new product right here with us that we're pretty excited for. I don't know if others are as excited for this as we are, because we've been riding it for several days now, a lot of riding on it, and it rips. It's a great tire. It was about 5 years ago that I was in this $7 green camp chair out here in Whistler doing first impressions on the Assegai. So now we have a tire that kind of fits in between that Assegai and the Shorty. You can kind of tell that almost immediately from looking at the tread pattern. We were actually at a Maxxis event where we had a bunch of racers telling us about what this tire is for, how they designed it. Tor, what did we kind of learn about the design process of this?
Yeah, so a lot of World Cup races were looking for something in between the Assegai and the Shorty. A lot of World Cup tracks have a pretty broad mix of like bike park sections and fresh cut sections, and then the Assegai was really good for those big bike park corners and like really hard packed surfaces, but the Shorty was ideal for those looser fresh cut sections, and they wanted something that was good at both, and they came up with the new High Roller. It's like an intermediate tire. It looks like it's got the Shorty center knobs that have a little bit more space in between them to, really penetrate some loose soil, but then it's also got the really big shoulder knobs of the Assegai that are really gonna like hook up in those bike parking conditions. And it's got a little shorter knobs than the Shorty, so that'll like allow it to not squirm as much under you in hard pack conditions. And yeah, this is a really versatile tire that is gonna handle a very broad range of conditions incredibly well. And yeah, it's just designed for the modern needs of a downhill racer.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can obviously tell too, one design element is the knobs are spaced pretty far apart. That's gonna help with mud shedding, because the Shorty, it won't pack up, but that's a good feature that you want for, kind of wet, deep conditions, but it's not gonna pack up like the Assegai, because the Assegai, I love that tire. I seriously love that tire up front, but it would pack up in mud. So this is gonna be that perfect tire when you're not sure if you wanna run an Assegai or a Shorty, especially in the Pacific Northwest. We've got those shoulder seasons that you always hear about, where not really super muddy, but it's definitely not dry, and maybe the Assegai or the Shorty aren't going to excel. High Roller 3 is the one. So Tor actually raced this in Crankworx DH at the pro level, so that's where he's at with his riding. And then we also spent a bunch of time riding in Squamish in some deep loam, dry loam. I'm more of a recreational rider, so we have two reference points for you guys. Someone pro racer, someone just out having fun. We have these High Roller 3s on our website. Some of the models are already in stock. This was just released like a day or two ago. Hit us up, we'll be happy to help. But for now, Tor, give us the race report.
Yeah, man, this was pretty much the dream tire for the track that I was racing. All the Maxxis athletes were also on this tire, just to like hammer that point home. This was the perfect tire for the course. Just like, they were telling us at the event. It was really great in loose conditions. That's exactly what it was designed for. There was a lot of fresh cut loamy sections that the tire just like dug into super happily. It was able to turn on a dime. And then on the bike parky sections with the big walled out corners, it wasn't, folding over. I had lots of support. I was confident. And yeah, pretty much like they said, this tire is kind of a do-it-all. It's not gonna be the best dry tire. It's not gonna be the best wet tire, but it is gonna be the best tire for anything in between that, and it also works well in both of those conditions. Initially, I was running the Assegai DHR2. That's just like my classic downhill race setup. And after a couple days on the track, I switched over to the High Rollers. And I gotta say, it was a pretty big difference, like right away. I was pretty amazed at the difference that the bigger spacing between the knobs, especially on the front tire, made compared to the Assegai when on like loose, loamy stuff or any kind of more tilled up soil that you can really like penetrate into and get the knobs to like grip instead of like skating on top of it. It was definitely more willing to get into the dirt, really churn it up, and help me with confidence as far as like hooking some tight corners in like steep loamy sections. Thank you, Mike.
Dude, it was so big, I could not hit it.
And then on the bike park turns, I definitely preferred the Assegai, I have to say. I felt like I had a little bit more, marginally more confidence in the front tire, but overall, it was a good compromise to make. I think like I know that I went faster on the High Roller than I did on the Assegai, just because the High Roller is a more well-rounded tire. It's happier on every section of the course rather than being specialized for just 3 corners on the course. And yeah, this tire is the real deal.
Yeah, I actually arrived at Crankworks after he was done racing, and basically I asked him how the tire was, and he was almost immediately ecstatic, which is a good sign.
Yeah.
So when you're racing a course that gnarly, you definitely want to trust your tires, you know? I don't know what that feeling is like, because I do not race at a pro level. However, I do know what it's like to just go out and ride and have fun. To me, a big part of tire choice is mental. I can almost look at the tread pattern and just feel the knobbies with my fingers and basically just know how much I can trust it. That's just kind of what I've gained with experience over the years of trying a bunch of setups. And this is definitely one of those tires that I can touch, see, and feel, and I just feel confident on. So I rode Squamish. We did a Maxxis event where we went and rode Squamish, did some shuttle laps. Very dry, very deep loam. Really, really steep trails, like to the point where it was, I was pretty scared a couple times. And yeah, I had pure confidence in this tire, 100%. Like, I could have definitely rode it in the Assegai, but this definitely dug in deeper. Front and rear, it was really good. I really liked it front and rear.
That being said, what would you say that this is more of a front bias tire or more of a rear bias tire? Is it happy in both conditions, or what would you recommend for most riders?
I feel most comfortable putting it on the front just like to kind of start. I wouldn't go and just switch both my tires right away. I would put it on the front and see how it feels, and I think it's gonna excel as a front tire. It'll be great as a rear tire when it's kind of wet out, or just not super dry where it's gonna eat up your tires, because these are right away only available in max grip, which does wear down rather quickly. Great up front, it's gonna last a while up front, but as the rear, I think I'll probably stick with something like a Dissector or a DHR2 or something. However, when it's wet in the Northwest, I think it's great front and rear.
Yeah.
Like, it dug in so hard in the dry, and I feel pretty confident just running this front and rear when it gets a little moisture out too. You know, first impressions front and rear in the dry deep stuff, it's great. But if I just was starting and transitioning over from another tire setup, I'd probably just start with it in the front. How about you?
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think for me going forward, this is gonna be my new go-to front tire, maybe year round in Pacific Northwest, because we do ride just a lot of loose trails here. For me, like, a deciding factor for what tire I'm gonna go for is if my tires are gonna leave any kind of impression in the dirt, whether it's like soft dirt, my tires, I can like see I'm leaving a tire track behind me, that means it's a good day for the high roller. If it's, you know, so dry to the point where I'm like riding hard pack and there's just no tire tread behind me, Assegai I think is gonna be a better choice. Or if it's so muddy that like you're kind of on the fence of even riding or not, then the Shorty is gonna be the answer for you. But yeah, going forward, high roller for sure on the front. Probably stick with the DHR2 in the back for me, because I think that it offers a bit better braking traction and it's just gonna last a little bit longer. The high rollers have some smaller knobs in the DHR2 and are more susceptible to just getting ripped off, and they're just not gonna last quite as long as a DHR2 in the rear. So that's gonna be, you know, my probably go-to tire setup going forward here.
Yeah, so we've been talking about how we're probably gonna run it and the instances in which we would run it. However, when would you not run this? I think we clearly talked about this back at the Airbnb,
Yeah.
that if you're in a location where you just have really dry, hard pack dirt, I just don't think you need this. I think you'd be better suited with an Assegai up front. You have that better just contact patch and the transition knob. I think it just works better. You also might see a little bit better life out of it just because you have more knobs working together. And so, yeah, if you're maybe in a Southern California environment where it's not like super deep, you're not really trying to leave an imprint or penetrate into the soil, then yeah, Assegai is still gonna be a great tire for you. I think that tire is still going to rule a lot of trail networks around here. But yeah, the High Roller 3 is a sick tire that we're gonna definitely start to enjoy.
Well, that leaves us with just the one question. What is better, the Assegai or the new High Roller? It just depends on what you're riding. If you're riding on super dry hard pack, the Assegai is a better tire. If you're gonna be seeing more variable conditions, maybe some loose stuff, maybe some hard pack stuff, maybe some really wet stuff, the High Roller is a better tire. And it's just different horses for different courses. Neither tire is better than the other. They just excel in different scenarios.
Yeah, I think I saw in some comments people just directly comparing it to the Assegai or maybe other tires. I don't really think that there is a need to really compare it to other tire models in the Maxxis lineup. It's its own thing, it's its own beast, and one's not better than the other. And I really think that I just wanted to clarify that in this video, that yeah, it's not like a better thing, it's just
another option, because, you know, there was definitely just a gap between the Assegai and the Shorty, and now it's now there's not. It's pretty awesome that Maxxis has like listened to some rider feedback, and they've come out with a tire that pretty much just like fits exactly what I know I'm looking for in a tire, and I'm stoked for that.
Yeah, we're actually really excited. Sometimes we get new products and we're like, we don't see a big difference, and we go through all the tech and stuff, but this one just works great. That's it. That's everything you need to know really about the High Roller 3 and how it performs. The only last thing that we didn't talk about is the compounds. Right now, it's initially only going to be available in DH right off the bat. Double down SKUs are already in the system right now. We're waiting to get those hopefully in about a month. I'm probably going to switch to a double down in the front, only Max Grip for now. They did talk about maybe doing Max Terra in the future, but since it is really meant to grab and dig deep and penetrate the soil, Max Grip is kind of what they're going for. I love the Max Grip compound, but we'll see if Max Terra comes out for the rear tires a little bit more longevity. I did want to say the only negative thing, we talking about the positive, the only negative thing, it doesn't resemble the High Roller in any way. I almost feel like the Dissector should have been named the High Roller 3, and they could have just called this the Dissector. They probably have a book of names. They could have just called this the Dissector to dissect through the deep dirt, and that's the only thing that I would nitpick. But other than that, great tire.
Name aside, it's a great tire. It's exactly what we've been looking for. So now I don't have to switch between the Assegai and the Shorty, summer and winter. So now I can just run this tire all year.
All right, that's it. We're gonna grab these bikes, get out of this camp chair, get off this log, go ride the bike park. We got some other videos to film. If you like this video, head over to our YouTube channel and click that subscribe button. If you need any parts to upgrade or service your mountain bike, head over to thelostco.com. Give us a call. We've got lots of expertise. We'll be happy to help you guys. Let's go ride bikes, dude.
Let's get out of here.
We got more weird videos to film.